Do you guys ever feel like you're part of the problem? Because I've been feeling that way a lot, especially about what many of you are probably already focusing on. Yes, I got rid of the movie posters here because I felt like they weren't really being utilized, and I'd had them since I was in the attic. And obviously I wanted to hang up more Apple boxes. That way, actually, there's some logic to this, but the room is not completely arranged yet, so I don't want to do an updated office tour. But it does relate to this exact thing, this collection, this accumulation of products and just stuff in general that we all feel the need to do. And the reason a lot of the time I feel like I have contributed to this problem is that most of my job is talking about tech. It's talking about phones and iPads and AirPods and watches. And at the end of the day, I realized that those things really only make you happy for a certain amount of time. And companies thrive on this, obviously. They can make a lot of money off of this temporary satisfaction. And that's what gets us so excited to pre-order new iPhones, new iPads, and get excited for new computers. And I can justify it a little bit because I use this stuff for work and I'm able to make money and live off of the content I make about the products and about the tech I buy. But am I contributing to a problem? A problem in our society that you have to have the latest thing, that you have to be on the next generation, that you have to spend money on more and more stuff that will ultimately just weigh you down. So I've been watching a lot of TED Talks lately, in case you couldn't tell. I know it's weird, that TED guy, right? I mean, TED looks totally different in every speech, but man, does he talk a lot. That TED guy, he's got some things to say. But one reoccurring theme that always came to mind that has made me feel a little bit insecure about my job is the fact that we are an accumulation and our personalities are formed based upon our experiences and not our products. And I really hope, which this box collection here does not help the argument, but I really hope you guys realize that you are defined by the experiences you go through, and the behavior you have is heavily impacted based on the experiences you put out in your life. And a lot of the time we can justify it as products allow us to have certain experiences, but don't let those products define you. Don't let yourself be exactly just defined based upon what kind of watch, phone, watch band, iPad, computer. Based on the stuff that you buy should not define who you are as a person. And it's important to remember that your joy and your happiness long term, I don't think you'll ever be super grateful that you bought certain stuff, you bought certain possessions that just made you the right amount of happy. And there's still a whole lot of people on this planet that are convinced that if they buy the right things, that if they buy into the right consumerism, that will grant them happiness. And I know a lot of this may seem very juvenile and very basic to some of you, because I've heard a lot of these speeches over and over again too. And I used to think, okay, yeah, I get it. It's not going to make me happy, but I am kind of into the temporary happiness. Money can't buy it, but it can rent it for a little while. You can rent out happiness through money. So whatever. Okay, I know it's not going to make me happy, but I'm going to buy it anyway. I used to think that way a lot, but I don't think I really was that much in touch with the subconscious side of my brain that really was letting products and letting upcoming generation devices take up so much space in my head that I realized that throughout the day and throughout the week, I was thinking so much about next generation products that ultimately you're going to use, and you might get really excited about it at first, and then typically within a week or two, you'll just be used to it, and it'll just become the norm, and that happiness and that hype wears off. And yet you spent so much time, so much of your mind was dedicated to thinking about that item and how pumped you are to get it, and it's all for nothing. It's a dangerous cycle that probably is the result of why a lot of people are dealing with debt and why a lot of people have a hard time saving money and putting it aside so that they can retire and ultimately end up using their money to benefit them so that they can go on more experiences, whether it be travel, whether it be pursue a career that may not be super profitable up front, but something really fulfilling in the long term, or be able to focus on the things in life that you feel like you can't focus on because you have to worry about money and your job, and all those things technically have to come first. And ultimately lately, I've just felt like possessions and stuff that we buy and things that we want to make us happy really just kind of weighs us down. Anytime you want to move, anytime you want to go somewhere, you have to think about your stuff, whether you bring it with you, how you protect it, what money you spend to keep it safe. The insane amount of money Americans will spend on storage facilities and that kind of thing, just so that we can still hang on to our stuff that ultimately isn't really going to make us that happy in the long term anyway. So if you couldn't tell, it's a lot emptier in here, not because I'm moving, but just because a lot of the stuff I've had in my office, I'm trying to clean out. And it's not because because I'm moving. It's just, I like the idea, ever since I made that vlog about going more minimal with my desk setup, I like the idea of having as little things as possible and making sure that anything I do have makes my life significantly easier or is able to is used for work in a way that can help me in the long term, again, make more money. So I'm trying to be more essential and more intentional with the items I buy. Obviously, I don't want to be, a hoarder. I don't want to collect things and just stack them on top of each other like I have here. Again, this is very hypocritical and ironic, but still, I would like to combat this. And I agree that there should be, decoration and background to a certain extent. Don't want to go 100% minimal where I only have, 5 items in total, but still, I think moderation is key, and even moderation in moderation to a certain extent, as in certain things you can be extreme about and other things you can be less than moderate about. So I am going to try my best to reinstate to you guys, my audience, that don't feel the need to always buy the latest generation phone or the latest generation watch, and try your best to be content and realize that there's probably a lot of things in your possession that you're not really utilizing and yet keeping around anyway. And again, you will not remember or care 10 years from now what crap you bought and what generation of this product or generation of this product that you bought, because ultimately a lot of it is just going to end up being stuff that you ended up selling off or not utilizing that much anyway. So my hope is that as the tech channel grows and as that we talk about EVs and all that kind of thing, I don't perpetuate this issue that a lot of people have. And I really hope that just watching my videos doesn't make everyone feel like they have to buy as much things as they can, because I don't want to be a part of that problem. And yet at the same time, I kind of feel like I am, which is not encouraging. So hopefully I can leave a somewhat positive impact with this channel if the tech and EV channels can't leave a positive impact. And hopefully a lot of people can just enjoy them from an entertainment standpoint and an information standpoint, but not necessarily encourage everyone to spend every last dollar they can. So maybe I just need to lean more on making sure people realize they don't buy things that they can't afford and they realize the true value of certain products. So this feels very anti-tech in today's video. I know. It's weird, but obviously I'm still going to review this stuff for my job, but it's very hard to imagine what type of life I would be living if I wasn't a tech YouTuber, and what products I'd be using and how much stuff I invest in every year. It'd just be kind of weird and interesting to see how long I would hold on to my products before replacing them. But my hope is that you guys can challenge yourself to hold on to products that are working fine, that you don't necessarily need to spend extra money on replacing. And obviously it's kind of a blurry line on what things you should replace, what things you shouldn't, and hopefully you can self-meditate on this a little bit and kind of figure out for yourself what is the best use of your money. I don't know if any of this made sense, but I appreciate all of you watching it anyway, and I hope you have an excellent rest of your day. Take care.